And a very good morning to you from the Old Geezer's Diary here on Homemade TV. My name's Chris Gosling, and I'm just enjoying a cup of coffee on Saturday morning. Nothing finer, is there? It's about 11 o'clock, and I thought I'd pay you a visit and see how you're doing this fine and bright day. Not a bad day, actually, here in sunny Suffolk, although it's very windy. And it's not actually that warm. It's comfortable, I guess should say. What's the topic today? Well, I've got a couple of things to ask you about, I suppose I'd say. And the thing I want to ask you about first is if you're being out very much to eat, because this morning I was filming a local topic in a cafe near to where I live, and it was really interesting talking to the guy about his experience, because he actually opened the cafe literally 2 weeks before lockdown started. So they opened the cafe, they had a good response from the locals who came in, and then of course bang, all the doors shut, and they were shut down for quite a long time, as you know, and the guys who were actually running the business wondered what the hell they were going to do. But then eventually it started to open up for takeaways again, which was really good. And it worked for them. They managed to get a few people coming in for takeaways, and the word spread. They were doing good value for money. They were doing decent food for a low price. So in reality, they did okay. And I was really pleased to go and have a chat with them and see how they're getting on. But what they're saying now, of course, that they're doing food and drink on the premises, but it's actually proving, I think, quite interesting for them. They're making a living. They are well socially distanced. In fact, if I can work it out, I'll actually show you some footage of that next time I come on. But it was interesting. But what I wanted to get from you was what your experience was like, because if you've been out to the pub or out to a restaurant or cafe locally to where you live, I'd like to know how you got on. Did you find it intimidating in terms of having that number of people around you? Because that's something that I've heard a lot of comments about. A lot of people have said, well, you know, I was going to go to the pub and have a drink and have a meal, and then I stuck my head in and found it was kind of, it made me feel uncomfortable because things were too close. And I wonder whether that's happened to you, because it hasn't to me so far, although there have been one or two I guess you'd say social environments where you feel people are kind of impinging on you. In fact, I was in the supermarket this morning as well, and the guy behind me in the checkout queue was starting to get a bit close. So I sort of hummed, and he kind of moved back a bit. But are you finding the social distancing is fading, or are you finding it's working for you? I'd like to know, really. I'd like to get more kind of input from you on what your experience is. I think the truth is that we're all starting to ease off a bit on it. And this morning I was reading a piece on the BBC website about social distancing, and they were talking about it in quite an interesting way. What they were saying was that we don't realise just how short a fuse the whole thing is on, and that's worrying, isn't it? But there you go. Anyway, onto a more bright topic, I think, really, because I don't know about you, but I am bloody bored with COVID. We were out on Thursday afternoon. We had an afternoon out with a friend locally, and we went to the sunny seaside. And let me tell you just how nice it is to get out. If you can get out just for a couple of hours in the afternoon, it was delightful. We ended up going and sitting by a quiet river. There weren't huge numbers of people about, and we had an ice cream with a chocolate in a 99. Sat there and read and gossiped and stuff, and then we went and got a bag of chips to round off the afternoon. And it was, I have to say, oh no, I tell a lie. We also then went to a pub, and I'll tell you about that in a moment as well. But the reality is that those kind of environments, we were beside the river. I guess the nearest people probably passed within 3 or 4 feet from us, I guess, walking the dogs and things like that. But no one stopped apart from one lady who was kind of very proud of her dog. It was lovely, really. And I guess in the chip shop, I put on my mask to go in. And in the pub, I put on my mask to go in, and we sat outside. So in both instances, or in all instances, wherever we were that day, we actually sat outside. I put on my mask when I went inside the chippy and the pub. And that seems to feel reasonably comfortable now. But I'm interested in your experience. If you tell me, if you've been to the pub, if you've been to a restaurant, I would love to hear how you got on and what you found. There you go. And that's about all I've got to say at the moment. There's no one actually there live, which is a bit sad. But hopefully you'll catch up with me shortly and let me know what your experience is. Okay, I'm Chris. This is the Old Geezer's Diary, and I will, believe it or not, I'm just rootling about to the side of my mighty machine. I will, believe it or not, see you soon. So you take care. It's amazing how stuff doesn't